Welcome to Faith in Focus, Zocharyah, Elishevah and Yochanan, inspired by the Book of Mysteries by Jonathan Cahn. There had been centuries of silence, said the teacher, in between the Hebrew Scriptures and the New Testament. To many it seemed as if God had forgotten his promises to Israel. Do you know what ended that silence? The first earthly event recorded in the New Testament? The birth of Messiah? No, he said. It was an event concerning a priest named Zechariah. When Zechariah was young, he married a woman named Elizabeth. Undoubtedly, they had dreamed of having a child, but were never able to. They were both now old. Time had taken away their youth and their dream. But while Zechariah was performing his priestly service in the Temple of Jerusalem, an angel of God appeared to him and told him that Elizabeth would, in her old age, give birth to a child, so God would fulfill the ancient hopes of Israel through the fulfilling of an old couple's long-lost hopes for a baby. But behind it was a mystery. Zechariah's real name was Zicharyah. Zicharyah means God has remembered. Elizabeth's real name was Elishevah. Elishevah means the oath of God. Zechariah and Elishevah were joined together in marriage. So God has remembered was joined to the oath of God. The very joining of the two lives created a prophetic message. God has remembered the oath of God, a sign to Israel that God had not forgotten his promise, but was about to fulfill it. And when God remembers his oath, then the earth bears life. So Elishevah will bear a child who will be known as John the Baptist, but his real name was Yochanan. And what does Yochanan mean? The grace of God, God's remembrance of his oath, causes to be born the grace of God, the grace of salvation, the very thing that would come forth out of God's fulfilling of his oath. And when Zicharyah gave praise to God for what he had done, he would declare that God had performed the miracle to remember his holy covenant, the oath which he swore to our father Abraham. Never forget this, said the teacher. No matter how long it takes, whether centuries or moments, God will never forget his promise and never break his word. And out of the broken, the barren, and the impossible, the grace of God will be born. The mission. The Scriptures are filled with promises for his people. Take one today, hold to it, and live in light of it. Leviticus chapter 26, verse 40 through 42. They shall confess their iniquity, and the iniquity of their fathers, with their trespass which they trespassed against me, and that also they have walked contrary unto me, and that I also have walked contrary unto them, and have brought them into the land of their enemies. If then their uncircumcised hearts be humbled, and they then accept of the punishment of their iniquity, then will I remember my covenant with Jacob, and also my covenant with Isaac, and also my covenant with Abraham will I remember, and I will remember the land. Luke chapter 1 verse 4 through 17, that thou mightest know the certainty of those things, wherein thou hast been instructed. There was in the days of Herod, the king of Judea, a certain priest named Zacharias, of the course of Abiah, and his wife was of the daughters of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. And they were both righteous before God, walking in all the commandments and ordinances of the Lord blameless. And they had no child, because that Elizabeth was barren, and they both were now well stricken in years. And it came to pass that while he executed the priest's office before God in the order of his course, according to the custom of the priest's office, his lot was to burn incense when he went into the temple of the Lord. And the whole multitude of the people were praying without at the time of incense. And there appeared unto him an angel of the Lord standing on the right side of the altar of incense. And when Zacharias saw him, he was troubled, and fear fell upon him. 13. But the angel said unto him, Fear not, Zacharias, for thy prayer is heard, And thy wife Elizabeth shall bear thee a son, and thou shalt call his name John. And thou shalt have joy and gladness, and many shall rejoice at his birth. For he shall be great in the sight of the Lord, and shall drink neither wine nor strong drink. And he shall be filled with the Holy Ghost, even from his mother's womb. And many of the children of Israel shall he turn to the Lord their God. And he shall go before him in the spirit and power of Elias, to turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the disobedient to the wisdom of the just, to make ready a people prepared for the Lord. Luke chapter 1, verses 72 to 73, to perform the mercy promised to our fathers, and to remember his holy covenant. The oath which he sware to our father Abraham, the angel and the priest,